Hi everyone. So in past 2 days, I have received certain comments on YouTube such as, Sir, have you stopped the daily live newspaper analysis in YouTube? From now onwards, will it only be available as a paid program? What about newspaper analysis? And many such messages I have received on Telegram also. First of all, I would like to clear this entire issue. Now, why this particular issue got developed? It is because that few days back we have come out with Roundup 2024 program, which is a paid program for current affairs. Now, guys, let me explain you this thing. That daily live newspaper analysis that was going on YouTube will go in full swing. Even we have enhanced the daily live newspaper analysis. You might have seen in the past few days that we have segmented it in prelims as well as in mains format. We have added important mapping. We have added current affairs based on to the MCQs. So we are not going to stop the daily live newspaper analysis video. It will continue. Only one thing that we might do in that is to further enhance its quality. That is the only effort. It is not going anywhere. But then a question develops that, okay, if that free initiative is there, then why on the current affairs there is a separate batch? So let me explain that particular thing, you guys, that this particular batch is going to be a dedicated batch for upcoming prelims examination 2024 that is going to be held in the month of May. But question comes that if we have done the newspaper analysis regularly, if we have read the current affairs at our own, why we need this particular batch? Okay, you might not need it. It is not a compulsory thing that everybody needs to have it. Let's understand this particular thing more meticulously. So guys, there is Daniel Kahneman, and he gives a concept of noise in his book by the name of Noise. He explains this particular thing that often what happens, we receive a lot of information, and the information which we have seen multiple number of times, we develop a biasness in our mind that, okay, this particular information which I have seen 2 3 times is important one. But that is not always true. Also, there is a lot of noise that is out there in the world. What is noise? We are constantly receiving so much of information, and often we are not able to filter out that out of so much of information, which information is relevant for me in a particular situation. Information is not irrelevant all the times, but which information is relevant in which situation, you need to have this particular judgment. But often we are not able to form that judgment because of the biases that develop in our understanding. So there is a fundamental flaw in human judgment as per Daniel Kahneman. And the same thing often happens in the context of current affairs also. Let me explain you what is happening. We are constantly receiving so much of information with respect to current affairs. We are reading newspaper, we are reading magazines, we have joined some Telegram channel, we are hearing a lot of aspects with respect to current affairs from our friends. Okay, and often so much of information creates a type of a noise. We are not able to identify that for examination what is important, what is not important. Also, what happens along with all these particular things, there is always a FOMO, fear of missing out. You are reading so much of information, and if your friend is doing some particular type of a magazine, you are not doing it, you will feel left out. And under this fear of missing out, we make current affairs so bulky that neither we are able to retain information nor we are able to cover it. And it adds to our insecurity in the examination. This insecurity cannot be there because if you see, so many questions in the past have been asked on current affairs. For example, in 2017 there was 15 questions, 18 14 questions, 2019 22 questions, and likewise in 2023 last year 16 questions were there on current affairs. Now these numbers might vary because some economy question could be included in economy current affairs also, but you get an idea, you get a range. Approximately 15 questions are coming from current affairs section. Okay, so we cannot leave current affairs. We need to have a meticulously designed strategy. Okay, so in order to solve all these particular things, we have come out with this dedicated batch on current affairs where we are going to cover entire last 1 year's current affairs in theme based manner. So current affairs will be divided in themes such as, there will be theme of economy, environment, art and culture, polity and social justice, international affairs, organization, Geography related aspects would be covered in environment, and with respect to the historical aspects also, whatever there is, it will be covered in art and culture. So we have divided entire current affairs in these particular themes, and we have curated the information from the sources such as Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, News on Air, down to earth. Okay, and not only we are going to cover these particular things on the basis of topics that we have covered, there will be multiple choice questions to assess what is your level of understanding, whether you are able to mark the questions on the basis of knowledge or not. So this is the batch that we have launched. First of all, is it important? Is it necessary that you have to join this particular batch? No, it is not necessary. There are certain parameters on whose basis you can judge whether you should be going for it or not. First of all, you should not join this particular batch if you have sorted your last 1 year's current affairs. For example, you have done it diligently and you have made 1 year's notes. That could be in the form of some magazine, etc. also. So if you have read them, if you have made some short notes on them, and if you are confident on them, then you should continue there only. You should not join this particular course. Secondly, what is your preferred mode of learning? Now, some students, they enjoy learning when somebody else is telling them. Okay, because what happens, for example, if I am telling you something, okay, you are seeing me, then some people are able to learn, recall in a better way. Some other people, they just like to read. So if you enjoy learning when somebody is explaining you, then you can join, otherwise not. Third problem is of discipline. Now see, I am not going to give you something which is not there in the world. I am not going to give you something out of this world. Current affairs, nobody can give you anything out of this particular world. See, content magazines have always been there. They are there since ever. But whether you are reading it or not, that is the issue. What happens when we take a class, for example, after ethics batch, I received so many responses, students saying this thing, that we were postponing ethics, but as we took the class in a dedicated manner from top to toe, at least we did ethics. So the same goes for current affairs. If you have discipline problem, then class might help, because weekly there will be the two classes. You see these two classes, you read the notes, and the thing is done. So you should join, but if you don't have any problem with respect to discipline, then please don't join, don't uh, spend the money. So if current affairs is not overwhelming to you, you don't have that insecurity issues, then you can continue with your approach. And then content selection. Often what happens, we are not able to identify what is important, what is not important. If you don't have that problem, then no need to join it, you can continue. But if content selection, often what happens, we are sweating over so much of the microscopic things, thinking that they are important for exam, but actually they are not. So if you have problem with respect to content selection, then you might consider, otherwise no need. Okay, now what is going to be the approach with respect to this particular session? So as I have told you that we are going to cover entire current affairs in theme based manner. Secondly, there will be a dedicated module on mapping also, current affairs specific mapping, because in the past years we have seen that every year almost 1 to 2 questions are being asked onto the places in news. Then unconventional topics from science and technology, from agriculture, which have been emphasized, we are going to cover that particular aspect also. Then MCQ will be there, which will aim to assess your current affairs understanding. Focus on analytical plus. See, you cannot abandon, or you cannot say that, okay, I am not going to learn anything, I am not going to mug up anything. You know, you cannot do that. Certain places you have to learn, some certain places you actually have to cram. So where it has to be done, where only by concept you can manage, that understanding would be there. And reverse engineering, many number of times through environment, some current affair aspect, we need to learn some static also. So that reverse engineering approach would be an important highlight in this particular batch. Okay, so on these particular basis, you can take your call. And just in order to tell you the course deliverables, there will be live classes that we are going to have. Live classes are going to start from 31st of January. Per week, there will be 2 live classes. These classes would be delivered through our website. Fine. Now initially we will have 2 classes, but as the time will proceed, if we will have need, we might be having extra classes such as 3 to 4 classes per week also. Now classes would focus on coverage plus retention. Now I have sometimes trust issues. I don't trust that you guys are going to read and learn at your own at your home. So within the class, revision, retention and recalling would be focused. Okay, and a point is that the classes will go till April end. Why they will go till April end? So that you get the latest coverage. Okay, also the classes are live, but there is a possibility that you might miss some of the class. So recordings would be available, and those recordings will be available for 1 year. So there is 1 year validity of this particular course. Now there are some questions. For example, will it be focusing on current also, mains also? No. Right now this batch is dedicated specifically for upcoming prelims examination 2024. Okay, so this is all about it. And if you wish to enroll in this particular batch, you can enroll by scanning this QR code here, or you can visit our website sahilsaini.net, and link for enrollment would also be provided in the description box. So right now we are offering this particular batch at subsidized prices, that is just 2,999 inclusive of all the taxes. Okay, so if you feel underconfident with respect to current affairs, if you want some hand holding approach, you can consider it. So that is all about it. And again, I will emphasize that daily newspaper analysis is not going anywhere. Okay, that will continue. Okay, this is a crash course kind of a thing, a rapid revision for entire 1 year. That is the only difference. So that is about it. Thank you so much. If you have some other doubts, you can leave your comment in the comment box. Thank you.